Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the last 2 weeks of February. I hope you are well. Apologies for these being late, I am aware. This last week's been a bit of a trip, so if you haven't seen these readings before, we do them differently to the way that we do the main monthly reading, in so much as we are looking for the lesson. It is an exercise in perspective. I believe that there is wisdom or a lesson contained within every experience or interaction that we have, if we are open to seeing it, and often we're not. You know, when the events of the 3D overtake us, we tend not to notice where we're being pushed or guided in a particular direction. But hindsight is 20/20, and we can often see that on reflection, that we were being put into a better place than we were currently. But sometimes we fight it, and sometimes we don't understand it. And so these readings are designed to help you try and get a sense of where you are headed, or what is being shown to you at this time. So for some of you, it might be something being shown to you about yourself, you know, an opportunity for growth. Sometimes it's about letting something go. Sometimes it's about what's coming in towards you. You know, we won't really know until the cards hit the table. So we'll pull 3 cards for where you are right now, 3 cards for the energy that you're in, or why you're in that energy in the first place, and then 3 cards of advice. I hope that that makes sense. I've been up since 2:30 a.m. and now I'm starting to trip over my words a little bit, so I will endeavour not to do that quite so much. So can I have 3 cards for Leo, please? Where is Leo right now? So the first card that we have is the Knight of Swords. Second card is 8 of Wands. And the 4th card is the 2 of Swords in reverse. This actually is quite strong, I think, here, Leo. The Knight of Swords is Gemini energy, but it often involves the transmission of information, right? And then the next card that you've got is one that talks about communication too. But we've definitely got, possibly you're waiting for news, right? We can see that with the 8 of Wands. But you're kind of flying into the wind a little bit here, Leo. There's a sense of not really knowing where you're going, but the momentum is now building, and perhaps you're waiting for information about something, perhaps you're waiting for communication from someone for something, but you are on the move. And although you don't have the wind at your tail, as it were, somewhat flying into the wind, there's a sense here that movement needs to take place. We've got this 2 of Swords, which is quite interesting, turning up in the reverse as it has done here, because the 2 of Swords are the things that you do not see, right? And almost to some degree that is a willful refusal to see a certain thing. But here, where it turns up in the reverse, it's like the blindfold comes off. You see what you need to see, and decisions that need to be made are now being made. It's quite interesting because we've got the 4 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, and so there is a sense that you've been holding on to something for quite a long time, but we've got the 9 of Cups behind that. Now, whether you've been clinging to your own happiness, I don't think so. I don't think that's what it is, but it could be, you know, clinging to an outcome, and there only being one outcome that is right for you. That's possible. If it is, I feel like you're letting that go with this taking flight that we see here with the Knight of Swords and the 8 of Wands. There's a definite move away from that, if that is what you've been doing. If it's not, it feels more like seeing what it is that you've been holding on to and being prepared to release it, because there are decisions coming up that you will make. And it's not being made for you, and it's not huge life-changing decisions, interestingly enough. These are small decisions, but that may have major consequences later down the line. I mean, that's the sort of feeling that I've got here with this. I'm going to just pull another card for this Knight of Swords and make sure I've covered everything I can. Tell me about this Knight of Swords, please. That's the Sun card that's just flipped in the deck. Tell me about the Knight of Swords. Got the Chariot. Yeah, more movement. I feel like some of this movement may not be in the direction that you wanted, and that may be where the Four of Pentacles comes in. But it's happening nonetheless. I don't think there's any mistake here or coincidence at the fact that the sun is just literally just peeking over the top of the deck here. Movement is what you've been after for a long time, and here now movement is. Whether it's of the sort that you wanted, probably less likely, but there's a sense that the sun is going to rise on you in this situation very soon. We've got the Death card at the bottom of the deck, right? Things are about to change, and change quite dramatically. I wonder if some of you just got so used to nothing happening that it's a bit discombobulating now that movement is occurring and that momentum is building and now decisions are needing to be made. This Chariot card is about success, but there's a whole heap of movement here, and there's a lot that's needing to be left behind. Hello. Let's have a look and see why you are here, right? What is trying to be taught to Leo at this point, please? What is this energy about here for Leo? Whoa, shit. We've got the King of Wands. There you are, Leo, right there. This is about finding you, finding your feet again. We've got the Hanged Man in reverse and the Eight of Cups with the Lovers card at the bottom of the deck. And I think this is quite interesting because this adds a whole new dimension to what you've been experiencing. The Lovers card is a card of conscious co-creation, right? It's getting into alignment with what is meant for you instead of fighting against it. But there was something, where has it gone? Sorry, it's almost like tactile. Like sometimes when the messages come through, it's almost like I kind of need to grab at them a little bit. This is about finding your feet and finding your power, right? Like I said, I do think this is all a bit discombobulating at the moment, and I do think there's a huge element here of being so used to no movement happening that you're not quite sure what to make of the fact that movement is occurring at all now. But the Lovers card and the Three of Wands under there, like, it's time for you to take charge of where this goes from here, right? Now, that's not counter to what I just said about getting into alignment with the energy. It's like, what's the word I'm looking for? Marshalling all of your resources and going, right, things are headed in this direction. I am going to go with this. I'm going to go this way. But I'm also going to hold faith that everything's going to come right with that sun popping up over the top here. But I'm going to choose to be in alignment with this rather than choosing to fight against it. Because the Hanged Man is here. Now, this card talks about hanging yourself upside down, usually from a tree or some such thing, right? In order that you see the world from a different perspective and you can gain wisdom, right, in doing that. But it's also a card of suspension. It's a card of waiting. It's a card of kind of hanging around, actually, somewhat. It's a card of no fucking movement happening whatsoever. And if 2021 was not full of that for you, then I don't know. But it's the other way up now. The time for hanging around off a tree is done. It's time for movement. You've got all of the wisdom and the knowledge that this whole last period was designed to teach you. And now it's about moving forward. Eight of Cups is here because there are things in your life and that have been in your life for the last amount of time that are no longer serving you. It is time to move in a new direction, Leo, and as uncomfortable as it is for the movement to be happening, even though this is what you've wanted for a long time, nevertheless, it's time to embrace it and go with it, because this is all about the identification of the Ninth Cup, right? This is about your personal happiness. This is about leaving behind the old, allowing everything to transform, everything to end that is trying to end, and going off in pursuit of what is right for you. And you're more likely to find what is right for you if you roll with this energy and find your feet as quickly as humanly possible. and see where it takes you. Right? Choose to go in the direction of the energy. Let's have some cards of advice, please, for Leo. Whoa, we've got the Three of Pentacles. We've got the King of Swords and we've got the Knight of Cups. So very first thing, if you have got people around you who are trying to help you at this time, then let them, right? The Three of Pentacles is a card of cooperation and collaboration and teamwork. This is not a time for you to be trying to do everything by yourself, Leo. We've got the Star card at the bottom of the deck here, and this is interesting because this is a card of healing, it's a card of hope, but it is also a card of your future. What is it that you want for your future? And how do you get there? Right? It's about identifying the star on the horizon and saying, well, that's where I'm going, and then navigating towards it that way. But let people help you where they are appearing. We've also got the King of Swords and the Knight of Cups. There was another sign for whom these two cards came up. I can't remember who it was. Might have even been Capricorn, right? There. You're going to have to make a lot of decisions, but for you, it is really, really important that the decisions you make are things that just feel right to you here. This Knight of Cups is pulling you in an emotional direction, right? And we've got you leaving behind old emotions that don't serve you. Well, where are the new emotions taking you? What can you fashion out of what is in front of you here? Because the King of Swords says that you're thinking clearly and you're expressing yourself quite well at the moment, right? Internally and externally. So your thought processes are good and the way that you are communicating with people is good too. But you are now called to make decisions, and you need to pay attention to decisions that come from a place of emotions that you're trying to leave behind here, and ones that are trying to take you in a new direction. I hope that that makes sense, right? It's about following your heart with everything and being open to what's coming, not being too strict in the way that you think everything should be laid out in front of you, right? Be like the water, like Bruce Lee said. Now, okay, I'm going to leave it there. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.